afternoon, boxing fans and everyone all around the world. With us, Mr. Eddie Cross. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to speak to you. How are you?
I'm doing well, Christian. How you doing?
I'm doing fine, as much as I can say. We just experienced over here in New York a boxing event when it comes to Serrano and Katie Taylor. Both of them, they already made history in women's boxing, and eventually it was a great show that everyone, it was a witness how they perform, let's say from the bottom to all the way to the top. I think that was the most exciting fight. I mean, don't get me wrong, I really can say that all the fights they were good, but that one, it was epic. Like, in a long time we haven't seen that. What do you think about women's boxing that eventually it's been a long time that we haven't seen an event like that?
Well, women's boxing is growing, and I'm really excited for them. Katie Taylor and Serrano, they really put up a show. That's a classic fight. People are going to remember this fight for years and years to come. I can tell you that much. They really put everything on the line, and I love the event. I love the show. I love the fight. It was superb.
Yeah, hey, what kind of fight? I mean, when I was there, I was live right there, and you could see all these people standing up from the chairs and cheering. Serrano as well, Katie Taylor. Congratulations for both of them, and of course for the champion Katie Taylor that eventually, we she got on that night. She was the one who was the winner. I mean, with all due respect to Serrano, she did a great job. Eventually, people, the fans, sometimes, they say that, oh, that was a robbery. I mean, in my opinion, I think it could be a draw, but at the end of the day, I think they asked Eddie Hearn and, of course, Jake Paul if they would like to do a rematch in the future. They agree with that it will happen. So time will speak, and I think the fight fans deserve that to see again. What do you think of this case that women's boxing is moving forward? Now we're here to support them. What do you think? I mean, of this event?
Look, boxing is a sport of appreciation. You just mentioned that a lot of people say there's a robbery, that this and this and that. Well, everybody's got their opinion, right? I'll give you my opinion on the fight. I personally believe that Serrano won the fight. It was a very close fight, but I do believe she proposed the fight. She went forward. She connected the better punches. I think she connected the better combinations. Katie Taylor fought on her back foot, and she counterpunched Serrano really well as well. And it was a close fight. But at the end of the day, what matters is that the public won, right? They gave us a great show. And if they do a rematch, I would love to see that again.
Hey, I'm one of the guys also that I would love to see a rematch. You mentioned something right now where you saw Serrano with all these skills and everything. She pushed forward and she was the aggressive and all of that. And it reminds me one of kind of like the fight that eventually you are the trainer of Danny Roman, and of course June 4, Danny Roman has a challenge. I mean, right in front of him. Can you talk about June 4 that Danny Roman is supposed to face Fulton, please?
Yeah, Danny Roman will be facing Stephen Fulton June 4th. Danny's getting ready. He's working really hard. We're going against a great champion, a unified champion. But I can tell you one thing, Danny will be victorious on that night. Stephen Fulton, I believe, is not giving Danny the credit that he deserves, but he will find out just like every other opponent in front of Danny. Danny always came in as the underdog, and everybody keeps saying that Danny does not have the skills, but once their opponents are in front of him, they realize how skillful he is, how smart he is, and I think Stephen Fulton will find that out on that night as well.
If I'm not mistaken, that was April 26th in 2019, right? When he became the unified champion.
That is correct, against TJ Doheny.
Yep, and after that, he fought Murajan, and due to that, he got a loss in his career, and eventually, since that time, Danny Roman is been super hungry when it comes to gain his titles back, but for some reason Murojan hasn't given it a chance to go back and fight and do this fight, and eventually now is the opportunity to gain a world title, which is your goal and his goal as well. And June 4, I think is ready. So can you tell us like how focused is Danny Roman and of course yourself?
Well, Danny has not lost his hunger. He wants to become world champion again. Uh, he's always focused. Danny's the type of the individual that he's in the ring. I mean, he's in the gym day in day out. He knows what the goal is, and like I said, June 4th, Danny will become a unified champion again. I mean, we're going against a great champion. He's skillful. He knows how to make adjustments. He knows he's a smart fighter as well. I'm talking about Stephen Fulton. But I do believe that Danny's a better fighter than he is. And we'll see that night.
We'll see that night how he performed, because eventually we haven't seen right now. I mean, with all due respect to every fighter out there, due to the pandemic, um, the fighters come out, and with this energy, and let's say, I mean, I can tell that Danny Roman is pretty much hungry when it comes to gain his titles, and whether he has to go one way or another, he want to make it happen. And as I spoke last time with him, he says, you guys gonna see a different Danny Roman that probably you guys picture in the past. So this one is different. And he also told me this. He says, I want to give an apology to every fight fan that especially follow me, because right now I'm not into my social media, because I'm focusing. I really focus on this fight. So I loved everyone. I appreciate the love that they support me and continue supporting me, especially for this fight. You guys gotta stay tuned June 4, and what can I say? I mean, fight it's coming on soon, and eventually you guys, I've been putting work and all of that. Talking about work, how hard it's been for you guys? I mean, before, especially when we also going through COVID and all of that. How you guys train? I mean,
Well, COVID came and is here. I believe it's here to stay. There's not much I can say about that. What I can tell you that Danny has, like I said earlier, he's always been in the gym. We stay busy. Danny's been put on the shelf for at least a year now. Why, I have no idea. But Danny has stayed focused. Danny has stayed in the gym. He has been working. Of course, we make certain adjustments. We don't work as hard as we do as when we have a fight. Now that we have a fight, we are 110% full force, getting ready for the fight.
I bet you guys do, because eventually it's a plan that, of course, you've been working on it and every day you're practicing at the lab, at the gym, and of course, I mean, every fight fan, is waiting for this fight. What can I say? I mean, June 4, we gotta stay tuned. Is there a place already where you guys gonna have this fight?
Yeah, I believe it's called the Armory. This is in Minneapolis, Minnesota. That's where the fight will be taking place.
That's awesome. So I bet you the Minnesota fight fans, because when I say fight fans, we have a lot of fans all around the world, and of course all around the state. So give us a show for bringing us excitement in every boxing sport that Showtime brings over here. Right around the corner, we are a few days ahead. May 7, Canelo Alvarez, Dmitry Bivol. How do you see this match, and what do you think of both fighters' skills?
Talking about Canelo and Bivol?
Yep.
That's going to be a very good fight. I think this is going to be one of Canelo's toughest fights. Bivol's a very skillful fighter. He's got an excellent jab. And if you remember, Triple G was dominating Canelo with the jab on the first two fights, right, that they had. So I don't see Canelo going through Bivol as easy as he has done with his other opponents. But at the end of the night, I think Canelo will be victorious as well.
I believe that Canelo has the skills that right now I've been asking everyone, including Chris Cyborg, one of the UFC and Bellator and and champion that eventually she has, picture Canelo as one of the fighters right now that she told me this. It's gonna be kind of hard to find someone that beat Canelo. I mean, Canelo has a special skills. He's been working on it constantly and always focus on that. So no matter right now what fighter you put in front of Canelo, Canelo is so accurate in everything that he does. So I'm not saying that Dmitry Bivol is not the type of fighter and aggressive. It's a dangerous fighter because I think Dmitry Bivol, how he perform and the power that he carries also with the jab. So I think it makes interesting this fight. Sometimes the fight fans they discredit Canelo because they be like, this is gonna be easy for Canelo, and I said,
Look, Canelo has improved since the Mayweather fight. Okay, he has made a lot of his fights look much easier than they really are. I do believe that he studies his opponent the first couple of rounds, and from there on, he starts counter punching you. He starts digging that left hook to the body. He starts using those uppercuts, and little by little, he just breaks you down. And he is so strong that eventually, by the fourth, fifth, sixth round, he's already got you taken care of. And he just goes for the kill after that.
It's true. I mean, little by little, he's breaking down the fighter, and I think the plan is, we would see what kind of plan he has on May 7, and let's say we gotta stay tuned, keep an eye on both fighters, because after this, and then I think if I'm not mistaken, negotiations and all that, they've been talking about the third fight, Triple G. I mean, I don't know if fight fans are still expecting to see Triple G against Canelo. Triple G just won, recently his title and all of that. Congrats, but eventually, I feel like he's not the same Triple G because he had a little bit trouble to fight this fighter. A great job when it comes to Triple G winning against Murata, and we will see if the third fight happens. But because we haven't seen right now. So what do you think of that? If we see Triple G now against Canelo in the third fight?
Look, you never know. Let me tell you something. Everybody keeps saying that Triple G looked really bad. Oh, not bad, but was not the same fighter. You got to realize he hasn't fought in 2-3 years. Okay? He's been on the shelf that long. Now, he just fought. Maybe he got the ring off his game plan, perhaps for the Canelo fight, he'll come a little bit better. Not only that, but sometimes there's fighters that match pretty evenly. In this case, Triple G is one of those guys that give Canelo difficulties. Like I said, I honestly believe that he won both fights. That's my personal opinion. Me being Mexican and Canelo being Mexican, I'm not just going to say, oh, Canelo won. No, I stay pretty neutral when it comes to fights. And I have to say that Triple G actually, like I said, my opinion, I think he won both fights. So who knows? Maybe he comes into a third fight and he adjusts to Canelo's style again and he wins the fight. We never know, right? This is boxing. Like I said, boxing is a sport of appreciation and you have to really see what happens.
Exactly, and definitely he did a great job when it comes to Triple G winning against Murata, and we will see if the third fight happens. But because we haven't seen right now who's gonna be the winner on May 7th, so eventually we gotta stay tuned on May 7th. What's gonna happen, Canelo, and of course June 4th. Nobody wants to miss it. Daniel Roman against Fulton, and we just gotta stay tuned, and of course continue supporting boxing. A message that you would like to add to this interview, and of course all the fans all around the world, please.
Look, one of the messages that I have for this fight for June 4th between Daniel Romano and Stephen Fulton, the media, the fans have to give these kids credit. Okay, they're not talking about the fight as they should. This is a unification bout. Give them their support. They will give you the best fight. You got all these guys at 135, 140, 154, 160. They don't want to fight against each other. Now you have a couple of kids here that take a lot of pride in giving you the best fights. Support them. You know, go out there, go to the arena, support him. You know, if you can, then buy Showtime and watch this fight. Give this kid their credit. You know, then he went as a unified champion, and the media never gave him the credit as such. Now we have Stephen Fulton as a unified champion, and I keep hearing him that he's not getting his credits. You know, and that's wrong. The kid worked hard for those titles. Danny worked hard for those titles that he had. And they need to support these kids. They really need to come out and say, hey, listen, we got two best fighters in the 122-pound division fighting. Let's come out and let's give them all of our support. That's what I want to see from these people, you know?
Definitely, we're gonna keep an eye. And when it comes from me, I give it credit to Fulton, to Danny, and every fighter, because eventually, you know, even when I say that every fighter is because I've been in amateur fights that eventually also they're good. We just gotta continue supporting boxing. Don't matter if it is a pro or an amateur you know, fight or show, because eventually, as you said, and I agree with you, all these fighters, they put a lot of work, and it's unfair and shameful that we don't appreciate the job, the show that they put us for every fight fan. So I would say let's continue support boxing. Let's continue support Fulton, Danny Roman, and every fighter that will perform on that card on June 4th.
Absolutely, very true.
We'll stay tuned. All fight fans, please stay tuned for June 4. Danny Roman will perform against Fulton, and we cannot miss that fight neither. Thank you, Mr. Eddie, and I appreciate for your time as well. Wishing nothing but the best.
Christian, thank you so much for having me again, man. Thank you.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.